Okay, so we're going to dive into this dead internet theory. You sent over a bunch of articles and research on it. It's really interesting.
Mm.
It's like this idea that, the internet is just filled with bots now
Yeah.
and algorithms and like AI stuff.
Right.
And that, maybe it's to the point where there's like no actual human interaction happening online anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, is it even real? Kind of spooky, right?
It is kind of a spooky thought. You know what I think is interesting about it is this theory's been around for a while.
Right.
It's been kind of these like, darker corners of the internet
Yeah.
for years now. And it seems like it's kind of creeping into the mainstream a little more. Like people are starting to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think about like when I'm scrolling through social media sometimes, it just feels off.
Right.
Like it doesn't even feel real. It feels
No.
like I'm just watching a bunch of bots talk to each other.
Yeah, that's one of the things that people talk about when they're talking about the dead internet theory, right?
Yeah.
Is this feeling that like a lot of the stuff that's happening online, it's not actually coming from people.
Yeah.
It's coming from bots and AI that's just like designed to look like it's coming from a person.
Yeah, but couldn't that just be like the algorithms getting better?
Oh, yeah.
Like, like it's just showing us stuff we already like, so it feels familiar. Too familiar, maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. But, people who really believe in this theory, they'll point to some things that are a little harder to just explain away like that.
Right.
Like those tweets. Have you seen these?
Yeah.
The like, I hate texting tweets that have been going around.
Oh, yeah.
They get like thousands of likes. And it's this really generic sentiment. And you think about it, why would that resonate with so many people?
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like uncanny valley, like for online behavior.
Yeah.
Like what is happening? And then, I'm thinking about like those AI shrimp Jesus pictures. Oh, yeah.
That are all over Facebook.
Right.
With the AI comments that are like, amen and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's content that's designed to be viral.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And, I think it plays into this feeling that the internet's less about like actual human connection now and more about just like algorithms doing their thing.
It's manipulation almost.
Right.
Like that report you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
In the Imperva report.
Yeah.
They said like 52% of traffic online was from bots.
Yeah. And that was in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. 52% of all web traffic, not from humans.
Yeah, it's crazy. It makes you wonder if you've ever even like talked to a real person online.
Yeah. I've definitely had those moments where I'm like, wait, is this a bot? Am I talking to a bot right now?
Yeah. Have you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to know for sure, right?
Yeah.
You never really know. And then, you brought up the YouTube thing, the inversion.
Yeah, can you explain that? What is that?
So this is kind of wild. So the inversion, that's what they're calling it, right? It's this thing where basically the YouTube engineers started to get worried that their algorithms that detect bot activity would start thinking that real views were fake.
Oh, wow.
Because there were so many dots.
Oh, interesting.
So like the bots were so numerous that they were skewing all of the data.
So the bots are outnumbering the humans.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to, at least in YouTube's data, yeah.
Yeah, and that's only gotten it's only gotten crazier with like all this AI stuff happening.
Yeah. Well,
ChatGPT, Google's got Gemini, all this stuff. How does that like play into this dead internet theory?
Well, these AI tools, they're getting so good at writing text, creating images, and some experts are even saying that like 99% of content online could be AI generated within a few years.
99%. That's crazy. I mean, imagine that. Like it's
a scary thought.
All AI generated. What happens to us?
Right. Where did the humans go?
Yeah.
That's like the big question.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just like about being creeped out by the bots, right? Like it's like what happens to like how we think, how we get information, how we form opinions. It's all
and then you start thinking about, maybe there are even some worse reasons why people would want a bot-controlled internet.
Yeah, you were saying something about that earlier. Like, what is that?
Well, imagine someone who's just using like an army of bots to, spread misinformation, manipulate what's trending, basically controlling the narrative.
Yeah, that's scary. I'm already freaked out about how the algorithms like shape what I see, but if it's like bots with agendas.
That's all other.
That's really freaky. Like, is that happening? Can you give me an example of that?
Well, I mean, we've seen stuff like this, especially with like elections and stuff. Like, there's been studies that have shown, bot accounts were really involved in spreading fake news.
Oh, wow.
During the 2016 election. And then, like, more recently, there's been stuff with, like, pro-Russian bot campaigns that have been uncovered. That are using, like, really sophisticated AI to spread all this disinformation.
Oh, wow.
About the war in Ukraine.
So it's not just, like, a theory.
It's happening.
Happening, yeah. But, I mean, before we, like, spiral into complete internet doom, I think it's important to, like, there are some arguments against the dead internet theory, right? Like,
sure, yeah.
Is it possible the internet isn't as dead as people think?
Yeah, I mean, people who, don't buy into this theory, they'll say, look, there's no actual proof that the internet is dominated by bots.
Yeah. So maybe it's not about bots taking over. Maybe it's just us, like, adapting to this new online world, and it just feels different.
Yeah, and, I mean, obviously, algorithms and AI, they're a big part of it.
Yeah.
But just because they're a big part of it doesn't necessarily mean that, the internet is dead.
Yeah.
They would say that, there are still people connecting online.
Right.
Creating things online.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can be a force for good, too.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, if this theory is at least partially true, what can we do about it? Can the internet be saved?
I mean, that's the big question.
Yeah.
Right? And thankfully, there are some things that people are talking about.
Yeah, what are they?
Well, one idea is to, use antitrust laws.
Yeah.
To, like, break up these big tech companies that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And maybe if we had, like, a more decentralized internet,
right,
with more competition, maybe that would make it a little harder for someone to, like, manipulate the whole thing.
Yeah, less power in one place, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. And then another approach is to, like, focus more on data privacy.
Yeah.
So that, there's things like the GDPR in Europe.
Right.
And that kind of gives people more control over their own data.
Yeah.
So companies can't just, like, take it and use it for whatever they want.
So it's about more, like, transparency, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. Transparency, more control for the users.
Right.
And, maybe if we can limit how much data these companies can get, then they won't be able to, track us and manipulate us as easily.
Right. Interesting. Shifting the power back to the users, the people.
Exactly, yeah.
But what about the content?
Right.
Like, all this AI-generated stuff that's all over the place. What do we do about that?
Well, that's where I think education is really important.
Okay.
We need to, like, teach people how to, be smarter about what they see online.
Right.
How to spot, like, fake news.
Yeah.
Figure out if something's a bot. Be critical about sources,
So, like, media literacy.
Yeah, basically.
But for the internet.
Yeah, for the digital age.
Digital age, yeah. How to navigate this crazy world.
Yeah, and, this isn't just for kids. This is, like, everybody needs this.
Yeah.
From kids to adults.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to know how to do this.
Right.
And the more people who know how to do it, the less likely they are to be, like, manipulated.
Right.
By, bots or even by other people trying to, mess with things.
Right. That's a good point. It's not just about bots. It's about, like, anybody who's trying to...
Yeah, anybody who's trying to, like,
manipulate
advantage of people online.
So we need to give people the tools, give them the knowledge to be, like, active participants. Yeah, active participants, not just...
consumers sitting there scrolling.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. But, I mean, is that even possible?
Oh, yeah.
The internet is so big, it's so...
I know it feels like a big problem.
Yeah.
Right. But I really do believe that individuals can make a difference. The internet is like a reflection of us.
Right.
Of the people who use it.
Right.
And you know what we do online? The choices that we make?
Yeah.
That all shapes it.
Yeah.
And it feels like these tech companies are so powerful.
Yeah.
And the algorithms, they control everything.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they're responding to us.
Right.
They change based on what we do. So if we change what we do, we can change the internet.
So it's like a loop.
Yeah, it's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the more we, like, engage in thoughtful, critical, human-centered interactions, the more the internet will be that.
Yeah, I think so. And, the less we engage with the stuff that's just like, shallow, manipulative bot stuff, the less power that stuff has over us.
So even though this theory is kind of like bleak and scary, it's also like...
It's a call to action.
Yeah, it's a call to action.
It's a reminder that, the internet's not fixed. It's not set in stone. We can change it, and we can make it something good, something that reflects like our humanity, not just our algorithms.
I like that. So we started with this like scary theory, but we're ending on
a little bit of hope.
A little bit of hope, yeah. The internet's a tool, and like any tool, you can use it for good or bad.
Exactly, yeah.
It's up to us.
Yeah, we decide.
So what do you think? It really is a lot to think about. On the one hand, it's a little creepy to think about like losing that authenticity online.
Yeah.
Like it's just this echo chamber of like bots and algorithms.
Right.
But you've also given me like a little bit of hope. Like maybe we're not just stuck,
Just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Maybe we actually have more power than we think.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. It's not just about knowing about this dead internet theory. Right. It's about realizing that we can actually like do something.
Yeah.
The websites we go to, the stuff we share, the platforms, we use it all. Like, adds up.
So it's about being like a good citizen of the internet.
Exactly. Yeah. A responsible citizen.
Yeah.
Of the digital world.
So it's more than just like being a smart, internet user.
It's about thinking about like, are we helping the good stuff?
Yeah.
Or are we helping the stuff that's making the internet less human?
Yeah, that's a good question to think about. Like every time you click something or like something or share something.
Exactly.
It all matters.
It all makes a difference.
It all makes a difference, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's like the one thing you want people to take away from this whole conversation?
I would say stay curious, stay engaged, and stay critical.
Don't just like accept the internet for what it is right now. Question everything, dig a little deeper, find different perspectives.
Yeah.
And most importantly, like use your voice.
Right.
Use your actions to make the internet what you want it to be.
Yeah. I think that's a really great place to end.
Yeah.
It's been a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, it had.
We started off with this kind of like creepy theory.
Yeah.
But it's good to end on a little bit of...
a hopeful note.
A hopeful note, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The internet is always changing.
It's always changing.
And we're all a part of it.
We are all a part of it. That's right.
So thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the dead internet theory.
Absolutely.
It's been really fun.
It has.
And who knows, maybe all this talk about a dead internet will actually like spark something new.
Oh, yeah.
Like a new wave of...
It could be a renaissance.
Yeah, like a renaissance.
Of like human connection online.
Yeah, even better than before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
That's what we'll leave you with.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody.